On top of those now, we've got some more news. Michael Bisping was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and I think that's great.
The thing about it that cracks me up is, think how long it took some fighters like Mark Coleman, Don Fry. Don Fry was more pride and everything else, but he basically put mixed martial arts big man style on the map. Michael Bisping just retired like 2 years ago, and he's already in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's awesome because something a lot of people forget. Michael Bisping won some of the biggest fights of his career.
He has some great fights.
And also, he had one fucking eye.
Yeah.
After taking the TRT shin to the eye and losing his sight over an entire year and then still fought, he still kept the belt. Knocked out Luke. Had Anderson Silva win even though he got knocked out.
Yeah, he got knocked.
Flying knee.
It was not illegal.
No. The Silva one was.
No, that was a legal knee.
It was a legal knee. They didn't fucking give him the KO.
That's what's fucked up.
I know.
Yeah, that's the fight he should have never got out of the first round.
He's like, it was a terrific flying knee.
Yeah.
He's just, but the thing about it is, I
beat
think
Kung
it was
Lee.
so quick.
He won Tough season 3.
Yeah.
He coached Tough.
The guy's been around 13, 14 years.
He had one defense as a middleweight champion.
That's big.
One successful defense.
Well, and he got to fight George St. Pierre.
Yeah, he had a hell of a career.
He had a hell of a career winner.
It all just it clicked for him, and he just got so, I don't want to say lucky.
He was just
he put in the work, but at one point the hard work paid off all at once, and he got. It was great.
All timing came in, like you said.
Beat Anderson.
This is my time.
Avenged his loss against Luke. Both of those are avenged losses from previous.
And rough losses.
Yeah, and then he becomes the champion. Then he gets that was the first time he fought Anderson Silva. But he fought Dan Henderson for the second time, avenged that loss in his title defense.
Well, you have to avenge after getting laid out.
And then got a fight against George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
And all of that happened in just like one stretch at the end of his career, and it's great for him.
Name more than 3 guys that he fought that weren't just average guys. Everybody he was fighting was monsters, big names, everything. And the thing about it to me,
he's been doing it for so damn long.
He's been doing it so long, and he's always had his name in the cards that it made a complete sense. So congratulations, Mike. That's awesome, man. I think that's sweet.
Last week we found out, or maybe it was just Monday. Yeah, I think it was last week. TJ Dillashaw had an adverse finding in his blood results from USADA.
I thought it was fake news. Thanks, Google. Give me that little update on my Google Mail.
Yeah, that's... Oh, my God. What do you think this does to TJ's legacy? If it's... I guess it depends on what they find. It really does.
Well, here's my 2 main topics on this. If this goes into a John Jones picogram situation right now...
It will.
USADA is throwing up their USADA flag saying, okay, we're having too many common things happen that are not going into our favor, and here's what we need to figure out. Why is it when these guys are cutting this much weight that this seems to happen, but we can test them for 6 months and they don't piss bad for anything? Okay, we have a common theme here. But is that common theme fair to get rid of or keep? Do you say, well, if you ever do drugs in your life, you're always going to have some in you, especially when you're super thin? Or do we say, we're going to stop testing when you're super thin. We're going to test you after the fight.
No, you got to do it. You got to do.
And that's my point.
But maybe you raise the limit, and maybe you say that if it's under 85 picograms, then it's nothing.
Which is a
something like that.
Pool.
Yeah,
no, my point is
you have to be able to determine that it is nothing.
If they go that route, I don't feel as bad for TJ because everybody has taken or done something at one point that.
That's what I'm saying. If this is from something that's 5 years ago, then...
I'm okay with that. If they find out that he was on something that's new or not marketed, or it only shows up if you're pissing very dehydrated, which I'm sure he was, even though he said he wasn't. Then I'm like, okay, TJ, that's fucked up. You should be stripped. But I think he knows what he took, and he knows it's illegal because he relinquished that belt in under 24 hours.
Yeah. What'd you think of that? You think he's going to come off good because he voluntarily gave up a belt that he was going to get stripped?
Well, did you see what Ariel Helwani said? He goes, they were going to take it anyway.
Yeah.
So he just kind of dove on his own grenade, basically to look like, I just want to
guy.
show how humble I am. Dude, you just got popped by USADA.
It wasn't going to change where the belt was going. They were going to take it away.
I mean, you might as well give it to a kid with cancer because we're all expecting to take rid of it. And I don't think at all TJ right now knows what to do. I think TJ knows that this type of shit at his career... You got to remember, TJ's not that young. TJ's in his lower 30s. I think he's 34. He cannot risk having a year off suspended, especially when he is dominating the things
32
that he had.
32.
So you got him losing to Cejudo. Let's go 50-50 on that. That could have happened. That couldn't have happened. He could be the champ, whatever else. He has now got rid of his 135. He's not going to fight anytime soon. He's not going to fight Cejudo to get the 125 to prove to everybody he can do all this.
Yeah.
And then now you have a guy that was murdering the division, knocked out Cody twice, making people look stupid, and now you got him out that maybe he could fight in December. I know we keep talking about how the Bantam division turns over. Now you got for TJ, he's like, please don't turn over because I have momentum.
Yeah.
And then God bless, if he is taking something and now he can't take it, does it affect his play?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so,
I really hope not, man, because that would take away from so many great moments that he's had in his career.
What did you think of all the Team Alpha Male guys that came out and instantly said, oh, yeah, he's not surprised it's taking this long for people to find?
I don't ever want to say people were lying because in that instance, for everybody's story to be that similar, I don't think those guys are smart enough to say, hey, if anything ever happens, let's all come out about TJ. I think it was like, yeah, it happened all the time, and we just didn't think anything about it because once TJ left, we didn't care.
I just thought it was, they all went out of their way to jump out real quick and say, oh, yeah.
Well, they obviously want to make him look worse than he already is. He's made them look terrible. Yeah, they're obviously bitter about it. But here's my thing is, if you keep having the same people squawk about the same thing and it all sounds the same, right. Eventually you're thinking maybe it is somewhat true. There's got to be something to it. Something's going on to it. But my thing about it is, you know who I think that is really going to struggle with this is Dwayne Ludwig. I think Dwayne, knowing or not knowing, is going to be really hurt because he's going to realize that now his reputation is tainted. Yeah. Not that it's totally fair. He goes around and
touts that Dwayne Ludwig thing all the time.
Well, and here's the other problem is Dwayne's basically sacrificed his life to the sport, and he has gone 120% into TJ. Okay, so now you have TJ that cannot help your financials, cannot fight, makes you look like you knew that he was going to be taking the drugs, and then also, now none of you are doing your job. You're going to train TJ out of your garage. You're not going to be paid for it unless he pays you or whatever your deal is. And by the way, TJ's missing out on some great opportunities to just make everyone
cash in big time.
Yeah. So I do feel bad for Dwayne. I think he's also going to be maybe like a Kavanaugh for McGregor and go, I don't know if I can come back and coach this guy.
Yeah, call it out or call it
so that could be interesting. So hopefully we get some good news on that topic.
Outside of the UFC, there's a couple fights coming up. It's going to be both DJ, Mighty Mouse, and also Eddie Alvarez. Their debuts in one championship. They're both in their respective weight classes championship tourney right now. Which I think is
fun. Which is cool as hell. I think it's cool as hell they do that.
Yeah.
What do you think of one championship? Just real quick would there be something that you would watch more regularly? Not as much as UFC, but like every time they have a decent fight, would you follow it? Or is it more to you, I'm going to see how these two guys do there from the UFC? Because if they both get starched, you're going, well, shit, maybe this is worth watching. They go in there and just rip someone's asshole, you're going to be like, well, two more guys we lost that we probably shouldn't have.
What do you predict? Which one do you think?
So I had, for my prediction on that, is I believe Eddie is probably going to get shin kicked to the head, TKO round 3.
Yeah.
I think he is going to go in there, try to overpress this guy. This guy's going to be able to take shots. He's going to bide his time, throw some leg kicks, keep him out. I think Eddie gets a little reckless and tired like he has. Conor, he got a very reckless and tired. He didn't play his game.
Yeah, I think he was just...
He was starstruck by how big this fight could be. He was put into a situation that if he knocked out Conor McGregor that night, he's probably one of the most iconic guys that wasn't. People did not get on the Eddie train in UFC.
No one did.
They didn't because it was this whole underground king and doing
he kind of does boring fights.
It's not about just boring fights. A lot of his fights, he was just going around trying to go for haymakers, which in turn makes him not fucking look good because when you're missing and you're not touching, the guy's trying to stay away from your bomb. It's like kind of Dan Hendo style. People just circle because they don't want to get that H-bomb. So a lot of times it makes the fight slower. Now, I think DJ, on the other hand, because DJ, I think, besides what we've talked about before, being one of the pound-for-pounds, his game overall on the grappling and jiu-jitsu is so much stronger than most people, and he's so fast. I think he gets in like a body shot on a high knee to the stomach, maybe a liver shot. on the cage, but I think he actually wins his debut just because his experience and what he's done to some of the guys right now that we're talking about in the flyweight division that are like, oh my God, Henry Cejudo. DJ made him look like a fool the first time with a knee to the body and finished him. Henry came back and played that wrestling game kind of like Usman, overran you, overwhelmed you, tired you out, didn't let you use your tools. But DJ fucked up a lot of people in that division that are top 5, some of them top 3 right now.
And he did it in all kinds of ways.
And he did it in all kinds of ways. So that's why I think DJ gets his debut. He's got too many weapons to go at you. I think Eddie tries to go and make a statement like, I'm here in one, takes one on the brow, he's out.
Yeah, I honestly expect DJ to step in and win this tournament.
Yeah.
I think he'll win the tournament. I think he's a fantastic fighter. I think he goes over there and becomes the one flyweight champion at the end of the tournament. I think Eddie is going to do well there. I don't think he's going to win this tournament. I don't think he's ever going to be the lightweight champion there. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses this fight. I don't know anything about the guy he's fighting. Yeah. I think that he's really good and he's going to do really well, but I don't predict that he ever becomes the champion.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that's it. That's it for the news that we had in the last couple of weeks.